Welcome to Talks with Teeds. I'm Eric Amato, Vice President of Sales here at Teeds. And with me today is Melissa Gordon-Ring, Global President of Health at IPG Mediabrands. Welcome, Melissa.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Melissa, to start off, tell us a little bit about your work history.
I'm grateful that in my, I can't even believe I say it out loud, 25 plus years in this business, the majority of it has been spent in health, working with all different types of clients, different types of services, patients, HCPs, and more importantly, doing things that make me proud to talk about, making connections and building great relationships, product, tools, lots of great stuff.
Wonderful. So to get into it, how does a patient-first mindset influence the way you market today?
I think patient first is absolutely critical. We need to meet our patients and our consumers, not even just patients, but HCPs where they are, really understanding what's most important to them, where are the spaces and the places and the moments that matter most to them. Obviously, we harness data and technology for good, but we also have to remember that these are humans and we have to be sensitive to, those times when we are reaching out to them with the right message. But more importantly, really understanding who they are as an audience and what really is most important.
With so many channels competing for attention, how do you help brands stay focused with what truly matters?
Once again, I think it comes back to the patient or the HCP and who we're trying to communicate with, understanding the importance of those channels and making sure we have the right content that fits within those channels and the parameters of that. The measurability piece is also critical, and understanding what that entire ecosystem looks like in terms of the patient journey or the next best action and the role that each channel takes in terms of moving someone closer on their patient journey to treatment and to ideally feeling better, or at least knowing more about their disease state and the options they may have.
What's one shift you're seeing in pharma brands to tell their stories through media?
I think it's all about content and really ensuring that you have the right content and the right formats that allow people to learn more. Obviously, the ability for us to go deeper in all of the different channels is now kind of at our fingertips. But I think it's the opportunity to then connect them to the right spaces coming out of those actions, and then measuring what that impact is. If we can give people the right opportunity when they're leaning in and raising their hand for more information, and whether that's through channels that have always been around for like a search or ensuring that we are bringing in AI search in the most positive and compliant way possible, we have to be aware of what that looks like in terms of connecting all the channels together.
And that's a perfect segue into our next question. With the rapid innovation that's taking place in ad tech, with the proliferation of AI, how do you balance that with the regulatory needs for your pharma brands?
I think we have to be, heads down in understanding the technology and understanding that the guardrails are in place to ensure that safety is the utmost priority. We know that these are places that our patients and our physicians are going, so we really need to be at the forefront of learning what the guardrails, as I said earlier, are in place to ensure that we are doing it in a privacy and compliant way. I think data and our personal information has never been more important in making sure that we keep that safe. And that's one of the biggest fears I have at the moment as we think about AI and technology, is that we want to make sure that there's actually legislation and regulation in place, so that people aren't not realizing that they're giving away information that might come back in a way that impacts them negatively.
Final question, what trend in health communications are you most excited to explore?
Ooh, trends in health communications. I love new formats. I love that, even if there are issues in terms of what's happening politically, that no matter what, if we can't use a certain channel, that we're going to create.
Yeah.
I always say that working in pharma, we have to be more strategic and more innovative because it takes more to get things done. But I think that as an industry, we're committed to testing with a level and a passion or ferocity that we haven't seen in a really long time. And I think I just love the renewed sense of energy of openness to risk taking, but that's thoughtful risk taking, to ensure that we are learning and we are growing and we are pushing each other in new ways, as we think about the future.
one more bonus question.
Sure, go for it.
I tease, we spend a lot of time on marrying creative formats and new formats
Yep.
with attention. How do you think about that marriage in terms of being new and exciting, but the measurability that you mentioned before?
I think we have to test all the things. I think having partners that allow us to have the flexibility and the freedom to try new things at scale really allows us to explore the world that we're living in and see what's happening in real time. So I think it's critical as we think about the future. We know that there's more data than we could ever possibly use, and at some point there's going to be more content. But in this world of specialization and bespoke solutions for everything, I think the reality of having more ways for us to engage in formats and content and messages is really exciting. We just have to figure out the right way to do that and get that approved through MLR. Got to bring it back to med legal regulatory. So,
Well, Melissa, thanks so much for joining me today.
oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.